The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Yeah,
Heck yeah.
that's true. If I were to believe in destiny, which I don't, it would be what I make of my own future. That's destiny. Yeah, that's how I would define that.
Well, no, I think isn't this like the opposite of destiny because it's you have a choice
Exactly.
as to what you become.
So if we have to define the word destiny, it's whatever I decide to make of my future. That's my destiny.
But destiny would be something that's preordained that would expect you to already make the choices you expect. I feel like this has more to do with free will than predetermined destiny.
Well, I'm determining before the fact. I'm predetermining in this definition.
Okay. Well, I like it though. Obviously, like career-wise is a very specific example. There were some pushes for me to like be a doctor when I was younger because I'm very smart and, not in like a bragging way. It's just something I'm very secure in about myself. And I was like, nah, I'm going to go into entertainment because it makes me happy. So like I decided to do that. I could be making a lot of money as a doctor in a few years because I'd probably still be going through my internship because it takes a lot to be a doctor. I chose not to. You could have done other things.
It's true. I could have.
And you decided to go into creative things.
Also, Destiny is a person, and Destiny's child is their child. And that's how I define Destiny.
I'm no comment, I guess.
Hello!
Hello!
Oh, I tried.
We messed that up.
Oh, darn.
It's fine. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of
PositiviTea.
This is the feel-good podcast where we give you good vibes by the spoonful.
Yum.
I am your host, Miss Mary Lou Ryan.
I'm also your host, Jacob Kahn.
And together, we have a good time.
Together, we have a podcast.
We have a podcast. Yes, absolutely. This is podcast number 20.
Whoa.
I know. This is our first milestone
I'm
kind of thing.
Playing surprised at that. I wrote it down a bunch already.
Yeah,
but,
I know.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Podcast number 20.
It is crazy.
Thank you to everyone who's been listening and spreading the word and participating in the PositiviTea community.
Hey, we are getting places with our listens that we're like, whoa.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks for listening. Awesome. And of course, continue to spread your goodwill throughout all the things and across the interwebs and tell your friends and have them come hang out with us because we would really appreciate that. I did check and we have some 5-star ratings on Apple Podcasts.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. If you're inclined to do that and maybe write a nice review, that would also be super great because I'm I might have said this in the past, but a weird part of me is kind of baffled that so many others find this so relatable, but of course they do. We're human beings and we're sharing our very human experiences, and
that was definitely part of the fear before starting this podcast for me too. It's is anyone gonna care,
right?
If I'm talking about my stuff and things that I find exciting and happy, is anyone gonna be yeah, I'll listen to that, or is everyone gonna just okay, whatever?
And I also think
the connection has been so amazing.
No, it's been unreal. And I really do think that this podcast is changing me for the better.
Yeah, me too.
It's scheduled time where you have to focus on the good stuff because I am very naturally a pessimistic, realistic kind of person. I play out every possible terrible scenario in my head over and over and over again just to try to prepare me, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Is kind of how I've been, except that preparation for the worst has been me psychologically psyching myself out. Mm-hmm. I probably didn't need to use that word twice, but you know what I mean. And it's starting to change the way I look at things, which, that's science. If you practice things like meditation or a positive mindset, it starts to rewire your neural connections in your brain as to how your emotional responses to things, which is amazing in science. And I love me some science.
It's working on your good brain.
Mm-hmm. So Jacob,
yeah,
what is the tea we're both drinking today.
I believe we've both had this on the podcast.
I think so too.
In the past, but
it's a Hugo favorite.
Yeah, this was one that was referred and recommended and not sent to, but referred by a long-time viewer and listener of yours and ours.
Hi, Beverly.
Beverly Butterfly.
We love you.
Thanks for Yorkshire tea, because I don't know what my life would be without it.
I know. This is a big comfort tea for you as well.
Yeah, it's just such a nice, mellow, rounded flavor. It's like, it has the right amount of caffeine. It's not too much, but it gives me that drug kick that I like from caffeine. And it goes really, really well with milk and sugar, and it has just such a warming, lovely flavor.
Yeah, and it's nice and soft. And as you can see, if you're watching on YouTube, my mug here is clear. You can see we did prepare it the English way with some oat milk and a little maple syrup. So like the vegan version of the
vegan English way.
Because don't be putting any real milk in my tea or you will lose me for days at a time.
Oh, no.
So good. We are so eternally grateful to Beverly. I mean, also random kind of geographical, not geological, that's rocks. Geographical. We have never tried a black tea from Africa before, which this is.
Before this, yeah.
Yeah, which has a much milder flavor to it and which complements accoutrement. You know, it's very exciting. I enjoy it. When you said, I want Yorkshire tea, and I was like, okay, me too. I was feeling it. I've been drinking it a lot lately.
It's an easy, suggestible thing.
No fighting over here. Going back to our last episode.
Yes.
You were talking about you were trying to be more mindful with your eating habits, especially when it comes to things like dessert or fried food or whatnot. So how has that been going for you this last week or so?
Actually, really well.
Good.
I've pretty much limited myself to, I think I mentioned this last time, one sweet thing a day. I'm not going for candy or a sweet snack or anything more than once a day. So that's been good. I actually, for the first time in a really long time, and this is something that I've been thinking about for a while and I just haven't acted on. I was at a restaurant this past weekend, so like 5 days ago or so, and it was the first time I had gone to a restaurant in years and not ordered a fried thing.
And it was brunch too.
Yeah, so. I had oatmeal instead of like the fried whatever delicious goodness. Because
I had the fried whatever delicious goodness.
Which is fine. I'm at a restaurant and I'm like, I know that I don't need to eat the most unhealthy thing here, but that is the most interesting thing to me here, and it's the experience that I want to walk away with. It's almost like I have this mindset of like, what if I'm never in this restaurant again? I want to have the most intensely satisfying thing they serve, which is crazy because I'm very fortunate and I eat out quite often. So I should occasionally, at least, probably more than occasionally, order something that's actually like healthy for my body.
Yeah, you had the oatmeal and it had dried black currants.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good. And I've never actually had black currants, the actual fruit. I've always had it
like
flavoring
in tea
something.
And stuff.
But yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't able to try it because for some reason I think the oatmeal wasn't gluten-free.
Yeah.
So I didn't risk it. But it looked incredible, and it was a huge bowl, and it had fresh strawberries.
And I'm happy that I walked away from the restaurant with that experience,
and you
that
felt
unique
really good,
experience,
like
and it felt good
body-wise as well.
And it's not something that, looking at, I would have gravitated towards with that mindset. So I'm happy that I consciously made the effort to move towards something healthier. So
I think that's really great.
Yeah, so it's been going well. I feel more energetic. If you have too much fried food, too much sugar, you sort of get these big crashes and
yeah, it's like a big up and then an even bigger down.
And lethargy. Lethargy.
Feeling lethargic.
So, yeah, that's been going really well.
That's really good.
I'm happy about it.
Yeah, treating your body.
Treat your body
to what it deserves.
So last week, you were trying to focus on not saving clothing.
Yep.
But instead, wearing clothing.
Yep.
How's that been going?
It's been going awesome. Yeah. I feel so good every day. I look forward to getting dressed and
Mm.
taking a look in my closet. I lose track of things every once in a while, but I do like to keep my blouses and such color coded in the closet, of which the colors include white with black stripes, burgundy and pink, and like 2 blue shirts. And that's
It's a
about
nice
it for like
rainbow.
my blouses. I mean, it's very me. But this week I've kind of taken things one step further. So
Mm.
there was this pair of really cheap jeans that I've had for a couple of years, and they're completely stretched out and weird. Like they're supposed to be skinny jeans. There was a hole worn out in the butt, and I was wearing them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I would look at them and put them on, I'm like, these have a hole in the butt. Why am I wearing these? These are stretched out and not flattering. Why am I wearing these? And then I would like compensate by wearing a blouse that's longer in the back so you couldn't see the hole in the butt. And I was saving them, but saving them as like not getting rid of them.
Yeah,
So
that's also an issue.
yeah,
Huh?
that's also an issue. So I was like, oh, this is also another side of saving things. So in addition to actually wearing some of my favorite clothes recently, which feels so great, I went to the thrift store and I got some fabulous new trousers. I do have one pair of jeans technically, a pair of like nice wide leg jeans. I couldn't even donate the skinny jeans that I had gotten that because of holes in the butts. I was like, these aren't even like fashionable, worn,
Well,
trendy holes or whatever.
yeah. See, that's the thing. You wouldn't donate those to a thrift store. Like no one probably would.
No.
And that's what's really great about shopping for clothes at a thrift store is that what ends up there is stuff that has lasted and will continue to last.
Oh yeah, I ended up getting this like beautiful pair of linen trousers that are just so soft, so so comfy in this like gray color with a tortoiseshell button. It's just I love them. I love them.
You've been taking it in the opposite direction as well.
Yeah.
And that's really great.
Yeah, I agree. And of course, I try to do one thing in, two things out. So yeah, it's been going great and I'm going to continue to pursue this whole mindset thing. So
Good.
anywho, Jacob,
Yeah.
this week, what have you been doing for your self-care experiment?
So this week I've been trying to focus on forgiving myself. I'm really mean to myself. I don't mean to be, but that's just something that's a part of me. And I've talked about things related to that in the past. So I don't want to get into all of that, but essentially I just have been trying really to consciously remind myself that it's okay to be me and to not be perfect all the time or like most of the time.
Or really any of the time.
Yeah.
I'm never a perfect human.
I
But it's weird how we kind of have that expectation for ourselves.
Yeah, and also just the fact that I'm not exactly where I want to be. I think that's good, right? You need something to work for. You need something to look forward to, something to try and improve upon or attain or achieve. So I'm also just trying to get more comfortable with rewiring the way I think about goals as opposed to being, why haven't I done this? I should be this. I should have this. I should be doing this. And instead thinking, what can I look forward to doing? What can I set goals for? Does that make sense?
Oh, that rings loud and clear for
Because
me.
I think the way that our social structure is set up, that's fun to say, social structure is set up.
Good alliteration.
It lends itself to this idea that you are supposed to be a certain way at a certain point and have certain things at certain points and that there's a trajectory that makes sense for all humans.
Yeah, I don't like age milestones.
And
those are the worst.
Yeah, and when you explicitly state those things, I'm vehemently opposed to that idea. Like, it makes me sick. It's gross. It's obvious that that's silly.
But it's ingrained in you.
But it's a part of the way that I view everything.
Yeah, we have been socially conditioned.
Exactly. So, this past week we didn't do the podcast, and it was my fault. Not my fault,
Not
but
your
like
fault.
I just couldn't do it. I didn't have the energy for it. I was deep in depression, and I just couldn't get myself to sit at this table and do what we're doing right now. And I have been beating myself up a lot about that ever since it happened.
Oh, honey.
I'm really trying to focus on just forgiving myself. And the fact that I couldn't be here last week is not, first of all, the end of the world, obviously. We're fine. We're back. We're doing it.
We're doing it.
But secondly, even if that weren't the case, that's what I needed. That's where I was last week. And it's not anything I have to carry around guilt on my shoulders for eternity. I might. I'm trying not to, but...
Your shoulders got a lot of weight on them.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, I know. Carry things all the time.
I know.
But, yeah. That has been my focus.
That's a big thing.
Right. That's not a week-long project.
Oh yeah, this has been something even I have been trying to consciously work on for a long time. Like I am fully admit I'm a recovering perfectionist. If I didn't get an A in something in school, I cried. Or like my anxiety was so severe around my first driver's exam, I failed it because my anxiety got in the way, and I was absolutely devastated.
Right.
I wasn't automatically awesome at something.
A lot of people fail their first driver's tests, right?
I didn't know that, but also it was me.
Yeah.
I was used to like being the smartest person there. Like I was a competitive Irish dancer. I was used to winning trophies, and failing was not something that I really had the tools for at that point. So, yeah, and a lot of that has leaked over into my adult life, and I still hold myself to ridiculous standards sometimes. But, like, we just got to breathe through it, and I think, like, building your own way, like, expectation is freaking everything, isn't it?
In what way? Like,
expectations
are everywhere?
No, like, the way that you set up expectations for yourself
I see.
affect how you live your life.
Yeah.
So instead of just falling into the pit of all of these crazy societal expectations built upon the I don't even know what from when, making your own realistic expectations and trying to use them as a way to work for you so you're not drowning in guilt all the time is a journey, and I'm glad that you're on it.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Like I feel you so hard on that.
I feel it in my fingers.
I feel it in my toes.
Feel it in my toes. So what have you been doing this week, Mary?
So this week for me, in summation, it has been knowing what my content is worth and then asking to be compensated for that.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So basically, I've been doing this YouTube thing for over 3 years now. I've been doing it for a long time. And I am at the point now where I produce 3 high quality pieces of content every week in video format, which is a lot of work. I create all my own animated graphics and stuff like that. I edit everything myself. And on top of that, I release 1 video a week in audio form, i.e. this podcast. Hello, how are you? And I also create media that I put a lot of thought into for different social platforms. So it's a lot.
You do
I probably
lot.
put, what, like 60 hours a week into this?
You wear all the hats.
Yeah. You are my part-time cinematographer, and I really appreciate your genuine, like, talent and willingness to help.
Oh, shoot.
But generally, yes, I am a one-woman show.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, shoot. And I decided several months ago I'm going to start treating this like a job. And I have been officially, even though it was before. And I have made the very scary decision, but good decision, to assess how much my content, our content, is worth, and then freaking ask people to give us that please nicely. It's this whole thing, right? Like I have this little fear monster.
Yeah.
That's like in my brain, and he just holds on to this little ball that's like make what you're worth. It's this little idea ball that I've had in my brain and I've wanted for so long with this little idea monster.
Get out of there,
Yeah,
monster.
he looks my little monsters in my brain. They look like Reptar from Rugrats. It's like all variations on Reptar. So like fear will hold on to it and whatever, and then once fear finally lets it go, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this. Then like little guilt Reptar, he comes out and he's like, oh, but you are asking for this and da 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 da. I was like, okay, little Reptar, simmer down. I'm gonna try to do this.
So this is nice. This is why the Reptar metaphor is great, because if it's Reptar, it's much
little
more
Reptar.
approachable.
Oh yeah, and also I think it separates these feelings from myself. I was like, this is not me. This is just a little Reptar of fear, or Reptar of guilt, or imposter syndrome, or
Reptar,
whatever.
what are you doing?
Reptar, what are you doing with that little ball of
Reptar.
idea? Reptar. So I have been determined to make those little monsters yield and like relinquish those things. And I've done a crap ton of research because I really enjoy marketing and branding and all of this stuff, made little PR things, and actually sent it to people who I think what they do is awesome, who I would want to be like introducing to the community. And it's gone great sometimes and it's gone not great other times. Yeah, it's a lot, and I feel many things. But it's good. It's what needs to happen to make this sustainable.
Good.
I'm even thinking about relaunching the Patreon page, which I do have a Patreon page, but the problem is because my brain, that little Reptar of fear, I made one video about it, and then I never talked about it again. So it sat there and done nothing. Reptar. So I'm gonna be revamping the Patreon page to include podcast stuff, and I have so many ideas for it. So stay tuned for that as well, because we work hard and we love what we do, and gosh darn it, we produce professional stuff that deserves compensation.
Yeah.
Also, I'm terrified, but that's the other little Reptar, the little fear Reptar. He's coming back. He's like, I found another idea ball that I'm gonna hold on to.
Maybe fear is a part of it because Reptar exists, and maybe that is a part of it. But you work really hard, and you deserve compensation.
Thanks, honey. Tell that to imposter syndrome Reptar.
Okay,
he's
all right.
Blue in my mind.
Reptar.
Do you have any Reptars in your heads, audience, dear listeners? Positivity, Tea-Time fam.
You know what we gotta do?
Let me know what your Reptars are.
We gotta go see Reptar on ice because he's a little slippery and easier to overwhelm.
So you're saying for my little Reptars in my brain, I should create them in ice rink?
Yeah, I don't know exactly where this metaphor is going. I just really wanted to bring up Reptar on ice.
Rawr. Community news. Welcome back to the next segment of our podcast, Community News.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite parts. We reach out to you, the listeners, and ask you for good things that happened to you this week. Or I love when you use the hashtag PositiviTeaPodcast and tag me on Instagram or Twitter or whatnot, and I see your submissions to awesome things as they happen. Which
let us know.
Let us know. I love it. I love it so much. It's just little sparkles of sunshine throughout the week. And I'm always like, Jacob, Jacob, read this. So I have selected a couple for you today.
Yay.
That we are going to celebrate you.
Woo.
All right. So moving on to the first one. This is kind of like an update community news. This is from Rachel E. And last time we heard from Rachel, she was talking about how she just had an incredibly inspirational, motivational week. Like everything in her brain just clicked on and it was just pouring out of her like waterfalls, riding this wave of creativity.
Yeah.
And so I have an update from Rachel.
Okay.
So she says, everything fell my way with my summer class schedule.
Yes.
I managed to get all the classes I need for my transfer degree this summer, and I'm just about finished with my first draft of this story that I'm hoping will become the first in an anthology book.
Ooh, yeah.
Talk about riding that dang wave,
yes.
Rachel.
Take it all the way.
Oh,
That's
my
awesome.
goodness gracious. So, I'm so glad it was just like in the will of the universe for you to get the classes that you needed for the summer. Get your education.
Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah. If it's what you want to do, you are going for it. And B, I am like, first draft. Holy moly, that was fast.
Yeah, right?
Yes. And
cool.
Yes. And I mean, first drafts can be A, really hard just to get through as a writer.
Mm-hmm.
And then B, as you go through the editing stages, like you're in a wonderful place, Rachel. I'm so excited for you. And I was really happy to hear that you were still riding that creative wave.
The stars are aligning.
The stars are aligning.
Your
You're
creative
a wizard.
juices and your wizard brain are flowing. Yes.
Heck yeah. If you're feeling with it, freaking run with it.
Heck yeah.
You know? Yes. Alrighty, moving on. These both are Facebook, by the way. I did not specify that. Facebook.com/tea time with Mary. Yeah. This next one is from Nydia G.
Hi.
And this one is like kind of related in a way.
Okay.
So Nydia says, I start school again this Saturday and I could not be more happy.
Awesome.
And prepping for our film showcase in November. I'm gonna kill that scene.
Yes, you are.
Yes, Nydia. I know
Nice.
Nydia personally. I love her. She is just like this creative, talented tour de force that has so much in her that she is just like unleashing into the world. And to hear that you are getting your education on again in something that you love, you go, Glen Coco.
Yeah.
I
love when people are excited about going to school for what they love.
Or
Like, that's
excited
so
to
cool.
like be learning about anything, period, about something they love. Whether it's,
Yeah.
I take voiceover classes because I love it and I want to learn more. I'm not in a college program for it. Or someone going to a place, traveling the globe to learn about this, that, and the other thing because they're excited about it. Or if you are going to an actual school and are excited about it. I love for all the people to be excited about what they are doing in life.
Yeah.
And Nydia, you are right. You are gonna kill that scene. And prepping for the film showcase, like, you've got it going on, girl. You're a wizard.
You're a wizard.
You're a wizard. Yeah. Also, Nydia is a big Harry Potter fan, so she appreciates.
You're a double wizard.
You're a double wizard.
Mary.
So amazing. Good on ya. Yes, you're gonna kill it.
Yes.
You're a wizard. And the last bit of community news, I am gonna hijack and have it be kind of a bit of my good community news.
Cool.
My younger sister is moving to the West Coast.
Yay!
She's moving to the Pacific Northwest, which instead of all the way on the East Coast. So I am very, very selfishly excited.
It's really awesome.
Yeah, no, all of my family now is going to be, family as in my siblings, who I adore every single one of them, are going to be within a reasonable drive.
Yes, road trips.
Yes, road trips. And I mean, even one of them lives in the same apartment building as we do now, and it's just the best, and I love it so much.
Yeah.
And also, she is going to be in a place where she actually wants to be and is looking forward to being. And living in the Pacific Northwest, cloudy/drizzle weather is her favorite thing
Perfect.
ever.
It's perfect.
So, yeah, she's so excited. I said, beware of sparkle vampires. and whatnot. You know, but yeah.
So we're told.
My younger sister's moving to the Pacific Northwest, and I am so...
Well,
she texted me right after she knew.
To you both.
Yeah, congratulations to my sister, first of all. My
Yeah.
sister is very special to me. And her and her husband, who got a great job, finally worked really hard for like literally years trying to find a job in a place where they wanted to be. He got it, and literally in less than a month, they're going to be there doing the thing.
Super cool.
Super cool. I'm so fluffin' happy and excited for them. You're a wizard, sister.
Wizards. You're wizards.
Sisters. Yes. And also, yay me.
Good news, everyone. I have good news.
It's good news.
Yeah, this is the part of the podcast where we bring you a good news story, something that's happy and being reported on in the greater world.
Yes, absolutely. Again, it is important to stay informed with the happenings around the globe, but it's not great to let it like consume your life. So,
And girl, there's always good news.
There's always good news.
Shoot.
All right, Jacob, what did you dig out of the depths of the interwebs for us this week?
Wow. Guess what, everybody?
What?
You can smile, because it's good for you.
Aww.
Smiling could actually make you happier.
Wait, no, for real?
Physically smiling can actually make you happier.
Okay, I'm gonna do it. So tell me why.
So, this is a new paper published by researchers from Texas A&M University and the University of Tennessee.
Cool.
Who recently gathered data from 50 years of testing, over 138 studies, testing over 11,000 participants all over the world.
I'm smiling.
And conclusively, smiling has a physical effect on your body, which changes your psychology. It actually makes you happier. In the same way that scowling actually makes you angrier, and frowning makes you sadder.
Wow.
Now, this is not the sole thing to change these emotions.
Yeah.
It's not the only thing that's going to make you happy. You
It's
cannot
not the magic
simply
answer.
smile your way to happiness or frown your way to sadness if you are trying to do that. But it does have an actual real-world physical effect on your body and your emotional state. And that's really freaking cool.
That's crazy.
I know. That's basically it. I just wanted to share that.
I mean, that's a lot of science behind that, though. Like, 50 years, a bunch of people, hundreds of studies. Like, should I smile now?
You should if you want to.
Yeah, because that's the caveat thing. I have experienced, as a human in this world and also as a female, people telling me to smile because it makes me more attractive for them.
Yeah,
right?
That's different.
That's different.
I'm talking about smiling for your own mood, smiling for yourself.
Just trying it, just doing it.
Just giving yourself.
So we're both smiling right now.
Laughing may even do more.
Yeah, no, laughing is really good for you.
Yeah.
See, that is why silly cat videos exist on the internet, because sometimes I just need to smile and laugh my face off.
It's true.
I'm glad that it is like concrete, conclusive.
Mm-hmm.
Like they said, like it is conclusive. Like not like some correlation that you can infer or whatever. Like smiling can actually physiologically affect your mood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
also doing it for yourself is important. Have you seen that TED Talk where they talk about like the power stance, where you basically like spread your legs and raise your arms kind of like your mid-jumping jack?
Yeah.
And how that actually like affects your body and your posture and your confidence.
Right.
And what's really moving actually about this TED Talk in particular is the presenter seems very nervous going into this. And she talks about like the science and the research and the this and that about it. And then actually on stage, she demonstrates the pose and holds it. Like she's almost at the point where she's like in tears. And once she actually does the physical thing that she has been talking about, you can literally see her change.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that this was an on purpose thing. It was very, very genuine. And she just like, all of a sudden, she just catches this rhythm and is on a roll and is like so passionate and confident about what she's talking about.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
It's all connected.
Your body, your mind.
We live a lot of the time just in our brains. We spend a lot of time in there, and we feel a lot of things in there.
Yeah, I'm a thinker person. Internalize
but
this
it is
and everything.
All related and affects everything else in your body. You're a physical part of this world.
Yeah, you deserve to take up space. You deserve to smile if you want to. It's my party and I'll smile if I want to. Smile if I want to. Smile if I want to. Anyway, speaking of which, I think this was a good podcast this week.
I do too.
Lots of good feels. Lots of hashtag relatable this, that, and the other thing.
For
and,
sure. Lots of Reptar.
Reptars. I do want to hear about your personal Reptars. And also if sort of personifying things, negative things that you're feeling as like little Reptars or whatnot in your brain.
Oh, yeah.
Does separating that, does that help you? Does that, and for you too, Jacob, I'm curious if you do that, if you picture like the bad little voices in your brain as little Reptars or something else. Like, can that actually make a difference for you? I don't know. Well, anywho, Jacob, wrap us up with a good quote if you would.
Sure.
Kindly, please.
Sign us off. There are two ways of spreading light. To be the candle or the mirror that reflects it. Edith Wharton.
Oh, Edith. My heart. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of great because, people are born differently and do different things. Mm-hmm. Like, are you the candle or the mirror or sometimes both?
I think you can be either or at different points in your life, but just because you're not the candle at one time doesn't mean you can't find joy in other places and help to spread it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, like our whole...
And that's what we're doing.
Our whole good news segment is us being that mirror. I mean, you being that mirror and me just pleasantly reacting to it. And taking taking a candle that you have found and reflecting it into the universe for our podcast fam. That's a deep quote.
See, and then this smile is like the candle, and the mirror, the literal mirror in the camera is like the mirror that's reflecting this candle.
If you're watching on YouTube, maybe you're smiling. I don't know.
It's a weird smile.
It is funny. It's a little creepy, but that's cute. That's a cute face.
So I guess that's it.
Yes, that is it for the podcast. You are all so wonderful.
Yes, thank you for being here. Thank you
for another week of hanging out, having a tea party with us, or in your car, or wherever you're at. Again, if you want to spread the word, leave us nice reviews, tell your friends. Mm-hmm. We love you guys so much. And we're so glad that this is a real symbiotic relationship and experience.
Simba.
I mean, cats. I hope that you all have a wonderful week.
And we'll see you next Thursday.
Bye. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this week on the PositiviTea podcast. If you'd like to connect with us, you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at Miss Mary Lou, at PositiviTea, TEAPodcast at gmail.com, and we are also on YouTube at the Miss Mary Lou YouTube channel. Wherever you are listening to us, please give us a like, a follow, a share, and leave a nice review. We would appreciate a little bit of positivity in our lives. The logo design is by Hilda Meyer Post. The music is by my co-host, Jacob Kahn. I am your co-host, Miss Mary Lou Ryan, and I hope you have a wonderful week, and we'll see you on Thursday.